Once upon a time, God tried to create something, but he encountered a problem. God is an infinite being, and so he found out pretty early on that anything he tried to create was just get absorbed back into himself or get crushed under his own weight, so to speak. Unfortunately, infinity plus one just equals infinity. God was sad, and God thought long and hard on a solution to his problem, and finally he came up with a plan to solve it. It was an evil plan, however, a terrifying plan which scared even him. In fact, it terrified him more than anything he had ever felt during the infinity of nothingness before he finally tried to pull something out of the void. Maybe perhaps this is why it took so long for him to finally do it. Maybe this is why he was idle for all those infinite number of years. And yet, nonetheless, at some point in that infinity of waiting, out of lack of a better option maybe, this is what he did. If what was holding God back from creating anything was this whole singular infinity just absorbing things back into himself, then God realised that in order to create something, he would have to somehow separate it from his own infinity. The first thing he would have to do, therefore, would be to create a gaping vacuum inside himself where even he does not exist. And so, the first thing that God ever created was the nothingness within the vacuum itself. Zero. This vacuum, was to be the vessel in which God was to begin his work. He inserted as much of himself into the vacuum as it could hold, as he wanted whatever he created to have as much of his own essence inside of it as possible. And so, with the creation of a separate substance besides God within the vacuum, there was two, alongside the one and the zero. Two being the most evil number to ever exist, the number of division, separation, pain which comes through cutting. And God could feel this pain as he was cutting himself. But God was not done cutting. He needed more distinction within his creation in order to add detail. And so God made another cut, another vacuum with which to fill the void with himself. And he cut himself and filled himself again and again and again, until finally, at the lowest possible point, being ours, there was enough division and enough of his essence and enough space within the vacuum in order to add objects, plants, trees, animals, humans, the sun and the moon, and the outer stars. At this lowest point, the universal feminine within everything engages in the pain of cutting and division whenever it gives birth to new beings and new creation. The human female in the process of bearing children, but also the human male in all other activities shared by the sexes involving production, creation, and inner strengthening. Now we must share within the process of cutting pain and division throughout life as to fill the karmic debt which God left to us. Indeed, the pain of division of God into half, and then over and over again, must have felt like the ultimate birthing process for him. But God, being a just God, always plays by his own rules, and that is the ultimate justification for why he makes us play by his. This is also the solution for the problem of evil. Nothing was ever created without establishing the vacuum and the cutting first. And so, evil is necessary for good, hate is necessary for love, the lights of heaven and the fires of hell are the same thing.
Let me ask you to just put the paper down, put the sheets down. If you feel comfortable, I'll ask you actually to close your eyes. You don't have to, but if you feel comfortable, do so, because I want you now to listen to the Zohar's poetry. Don't try to make sense of every phrase or every image. It's impossible. Just see how the Zohar is kind of trying to describe the indescribable. What the Zohar is describing now is how God's own being begins to unfold from the infinite source. And he'll end up with that interpretation in beginning, or actually with beginning, because the Hebrew letter B can mean in or with. He's reading it with beginning, by means of that sphira, of wisdom, the unnameable one created Elohim, the third Sphira, Bina. Bereshit, in the beginning. At the head of potency of the king, he engraved engravings in luster on high. A spark of impenetrable darkness flashed within the concealed of the concealed from the head of infinity, a cluster of vapor forming in formlessness, thrust in a ring, not white, not black, not red, not green, no color at all. As a cord surveyed, it yielded radiant colors. Deep within the spark gushed a flow, splaying colors below, concealed within the concealed of the mystery of Ein Sof. It split and did not split its aura, was not known at all, until under the impact of splitting, a single concealed supernal point shone. Beyond that point, nothing is known, so it is called Reshit, beginning, first command of all. The enlightened will shine like the Zohar, the radiance of the sky, and those who lead many to righteousness like the stars forever and ever. Zohar, radiance, concealed of concealed, struck its aura, which touched and did not touch this point. Then this beginning expanded, building itself a palace, worthy of glorious praise. There it sowed seed to give birth, benefiting worlds. Zohar, radiance, sowing seed for its glory, like the seed of fine purple silk, wrapping itself within, weaving itself a palace, constituting its praise, benefiting all. With this beginning, the unknown concealed one created the palace. This palace is called Elohim, God. The secret is Bereshit, bara Elohim. With beginning, created God.